Welcome back to another one of these college football sim videos. Today we have Iowa for the most part. So they will be like the only team on the thumbnail because this team's actually compiled of 3 different college teams. The other 2 just don't have many players in the NFL. So it's going to be Iowa, Northern Iowa, and then Iowa State. So that's what this team is compiled of. I figured I would do this because Iowa has a decent number of players, actually a good number of players, but not that many positions are filled out. I feel like most of these players are on the offensive line. There's not a great quarterback, and there's also not really a good running back. I couldn't find a running back at all, actually, even in free agency, so it's kind of a good thing I did this. So let me go over the team. CJ Beathard will be the starting quarterback. Of course, he was a rookie last year. Played a bit this season for the 49ers. David Johnson was the main reason I wanted Northern Iowa. 87 overall. Fantastic running back. Was on a horrible team this past year. I feel like that's why his numbers weren't great, but he's still a great running back. Wide receivers are very, very slim. This Lazard guy, Lazard, is this guy like a good slot receiver? He's not horrible. He'll probably stay there, to be honest. So I don't know who any of these people are. I think this Smith guy is the only one here who was out of Iowa. So I don't know. Let's see what happens with that group. The offensive line is tremendous, though. Brandon Sheriff, Clecio Assembly, Austin Blythe, Marshall Yanda, Brian Bulaga, with most of these guys actually out of Iowa. I think Clecio Assembly is out of Iowa State. But then I'm pretty sure the rest of these guys here are out of Iowa. Is Brian Bulaga? I'm pretty certain. Yeah, he is. So, this is a very good offensive line. George Kittle, the best receiving option on this team by far. He is a fantastic tight end. And then defensively, it's actually not too bad on this side of the ball. The defensive line's pretty good. Mike Daniels playing in a 4-3. Doesn't really fit this scheme, but honestly, I think he can get the job done. He has 76 speed. He can actually move quite well for being 310 pounds. Adrian Claiborne is definitely a 4-3 kind of dude. 77 speed, so, he only has 1 more speed than Mike Daniels, and he's like 30 pounds lighter. It's actually quite impressive for Mike Daniels then. David Irving is a good defensive tackle. Carl Davis, not too bad. Atiba Rubin. Xavier Williams, not Xavier. Xavier Williams is also here, but Mike Daniels, like I mentioned, doesn't fit this scheme, but I still think he can get the job done. Linebackers aren't too bad. Anthony Hitchens, Christian Kirksey, Josie Jewell. I want Josie Jewell to develop well. Hopefully, he's a rookie, of course, so I hope he can get the job done there. Micah Hyde is a talented free safety, and then we have this is DeAndre Hall. He's pretty good. No, he's not. I don't know why I said that. He's a 64 overall. I was just saying something just to say something there. He's not very good. Josh Jackson, he was fantastic in college. His overall would indicate he didn't play too well in real life. Honestly, I didn't really hear too much on him in real life, so I really don't know how he's actually playing. Desmond King, though, had a good season. He's an 86 overall. 88 speed. I feel like last year in Madden he had 85 speed, so it's cool that he isn't too bad in that department anymore. And then we also have Leonard Johnson here. I found him in free agency out of Iowa State. I think that's the entire defense. Special teams, actually, I didn't even look at this. So give me a second. Let me try to find people. Alright, so I couldn't find anyone. I just went into free agency. There was also no one listed on the ESPN website. So we're just going to rock with Cody Parkey and Pat O'Donnell. So Mabin and Desmond King are the kick and punt returner. That's fine. I'm pretty sure Mabin's out of one of these colleges. He's out of just Iowa straight up. Alright, I'll take it. And then specialist, I will probably have to change this. Definitely. I want David Irving rushing at defensive tackle. Then Mike Daniels will rush at one of these defensive end spots. Anthony Hitchens, I want Josie Jewell to be the sub linebacker. Desmond King, kind of want him to be the #1 corner all the time. George Kittle, I think I'm going to let be the slot wide receiver. Let's see what happens there. And then David Johnson, that's fine. So let me change a couple of these things around to make sure I change the experience sliders, and I will see you at the midseason. The team only has 1 win currently, and it was against the Jets. The Bills are also 1-7. We are, of course, at the bottom of the division. The Packers 6-1, Lions and Vikings both have 3 wins. Sam Bradford starting. Alright, let's not have that happen. I just simmed right here. I simmed to the regular season, and then I tried to make sure everything was good, but maybe I just missed Sam Bradford. So, hopefully he didn't have too many yards. Definitely didn't look like he was playing well. So, CJ Beathard will be back at the starting position. Anyone get signed on defense? I don't see anyone. I should have done a better job at making sure everything was good. I think everything should be okay, though. Specialist looks good to me, right? Yeah, I see everything there looks good. Okay, so we can bring back some players. The team's playing horribly. It's alright, though. I'll bring back everyone I need to. And then hopefully the team doesn't randomly sign anyone else. So very obviously the team did not make the playoffs. We did get 5 wins, though. We finished higher than the Vikings. The Packers were 12-4 and the Lions were 8-8. We also just lost to the Vikings. So team schedule, we were 1-3 in the preseason. We must have beaten the Vikings another time then. We started off 0-6. Then we beat the Jets and the Bills. Then we lost to the Lions. Won 3 games in a row and then lost the last 4. Alright, well, let's check out the stats. How did CJ Beathard end up doing? Obviously, we'll have to adjust these stats because they're not going to be like full season stats. So 2,240 yards, 11 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions. That's very bad. How many games did you start? I think it's going to say all 16. Yeah, okay. So if you combine these numbers, about what, like 3,800 yards almost, with 23 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Not a good season at all. David Johnson was good, though. 1,145 yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 fumbles as well. You know, Tavon Smith wasn't horrible. George Kittle was actually nice. Reese Fountain was okay as well. Alright, so not horrible numbers there, I guess. Blocking was very good. Expected it to be that way, though. 130 tackles from Josie Jewell. 16 tackles for loss for Anthony Hitchens. Okay. 13 from David Irving. This team should be in a 4-3, I believe. Alright, let me see. I have 2 defensive tackles getting decent number of tackles. I don't think I have... Do I have 2 middle linebackers in here? No, I don't, right? So Josie Jewell's the top guy, the right outside linebacker, and then I think this guy's the backup middle. So it makes sense. Okay, we are in... No, this guy's the backup middle. LJ Fort, my bad. He has 37 tackles, so I don't know what kind of... I think I'm in a 4-6 defense. Usually works out pretty well for me. 7.5 sacks for David Irving. And then 3 interceptions from Josh Jackson, 2 from David Irving, 1 from Elijah Campbell, Desmond King, DeAndre Hall, and then Leonard Johnson. Any defensive touchdowns? No. Any safeties? No. And then any blocked kicks? No. Alright, well, even if we are in a 3-4 randomly, or whatever, however Anthony Hitchens got so many tackles for loss, I don't really care because he played well. So we were near last on both sides of the ball there. It makes sense, though. Obviously, no one from the Bears in this list. Maybe, like, Defensive Player of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised to see Josie Jewell, if I'm being honest. Is Josie Jewell on this list? Nah, he's not. He's got a ton of tackles, so I figured maybe there was a chance. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Saquon Barkley. Reese Fountain comes in 6th, though. Tavon Smith comes in 9th. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Fred Warner. Josie Jewell comes in 2nd. Josh Jackson comes in 3rd. Really wish Jewell could have won that one. Maybe he still made a Pro Bowl. Kind of doubt it, though. We have a couple experience points here on offense, 2 from David Johnson. Defensively, Josie Jewell only has 1. Still played well, though, so I'm sure he'll be the starting middle linebacker. Josh Jackson, though, has 6. That's nice. Did he make a Pro Bowl? Had to have, right? He did make a Pro Bowl. All right, I'll take it. I couldn't really find any, like, amazing players out of any of these schools in this draft. It's usually how the first one goes. The best player I could find is the 2nd-round player. I'm just going to take him now, just in case he goes later in the first. Wes O'Shaughnessy. 74 overall, but does have quick dev. Very slow, can't really catch too well. Good short route running, I guess, but he'll just be a backup tight end. Actually, what I might do is throw George Kittle to wide receiver and then have that guy start at tight end. That might not be that bad of an idea. I'm just going to get a 1st-round draft pick next year. And then with my next pick, I'll just take the rest of these players here. Well, I'll start taking the rest of them. So still in the 1st round. Let's go with this dude in the 4th, I think. I'm going to take this 4th and this 6th round guy, and then I'll sim, and I'll let you know what these 3 guys are all about. So, Banks Denard. 73 overall, normal dev. He will definitely be one of our starting wide receivers. And then finally, I will go with this safety, who might actually start. There's potential here. Glenn Robbins, very slow, though. 69 overall, quick dev. 82 speed, 82 tackling. He probably will start, if I'm being honest. Now I'm just going to sim. I'm sure the computer will draft all these guys for me because I have them all on my watch board. It'll probably be the next 3 picks. And then if it turns out that they didn't draft these players for me, then it's not really that big of a deal. I highly doubt any of them are actually any good. So the top 2 guys here we selected, of course. And then there's Glenn Robbins. Actually, the top 3 guys we selected. This guy's out of Iowa State, so he was one of the people on my draft board. So was he, and then that's it. Okay, so these were the 3 guys I could have selected, all 66 overalls. Pretty good looking wide receiver, Anthony Gideon, 5'8", very fast. Okay, 95 speed. Alright, then it sucks that we can't use him, but let's check out the NFL. Who was the first player to go? Trey Howell, 80 overall defensive tackle, looks pretty nice. First player overall, like ranked-wise, is Glenn Rosemond, a running back out of Michigan State, quick dev. 91 speed, 89 acceleration, 93 agility as well. Adrian Schroeder is in here as well. Good, strong safety draft. Ole Miss. strong safety out of Ole Miss, Josh Powell. I think, no, he wasn't the one that went first overall. Was there another Powell? Well, who went first overall? Wasn't that his name? It was Howell. Okay, that's what it was. I will be starting George Kittle at wide receiver number 1 for this season. Why not, right? He's an 81 overall. He has star dev at this point. He should go off. But now we have Denard playing wide receiver number 2. He's also playing in the slot. Not too bad there. And then Wes O'Shaughnessy starting at tight end. The offensive line is unchanged. Quarterback, running back, both unchanged as well. And then defensively, again, pretty much unchanged. We have a new strong safety. I think that's like the only new thing here. We have this Ford guy who did not go to Iowa. Mike Ford, he went to Missouri State down there. It's like Southeast Missouri State, whatever that stood for. So we're going to have Johnson back then at cornerback number 3. Special teams, I didn't re-sign Pat O'Donnell. I also could not find any, Iowa, kickers or punters. So the computer will just sign someone, I guess. And then here's the specialist tab over here. So I think the team is a lot better. It's actually a 78 overall now. We could potentially have a winning season. Let's see what happens, though. The team is actually a lot better at the midseason this year compared to last year. We are 4-3. The Broncos are 5-2. Good for them. We are actually on top of the division. The Vikings are also 4-3. Packers 2-5, and Lions 1-6. Team's playing pretty well, I guess. 1 experience point for those guys on offense. Defensively, 1 for the majority of people, and then 2 for Josh Jackson over there. Marshall Yanda will definitely come back to the team. Hopefully he doesn't retire. I'd like to get 1 more season out of him if possible. And then, all these other guys here I will bring back. We made the playoffs this season, surprisingly enough, going 8-8. Alright, we won the division, 6-9-1 for the Vikings, 6-10 for the Packers, 5-11 for the Lions. So, clearly the best team in the division, was us. 1-3 in the preseason. Won the opening game, lost to the Cowboys, beat the Giants. Won 2 more, lost. Went on a nice 4-game win streak there, then lost 3 in a row. Beat the Raiders, and then lost the final 2. So I highly doubt we'll make it far in the postseason here, but at least we made it. That's pretty cool, I guess. CJ Beathard, much better from last season, even though he didn't play too much last year. But still, if we would have extended his averages from last year to a full season, this is far better. 4,241 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It's actually a really good season. David Johnson was great once again, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. O'Shaughnessy gets 10 touchdowns at tight end. All right, George Kittle, almost 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. Fountain gets 2 touchdowns. Banks Denard, the rookie, 830 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's actually good seasons from all those guys there, really. Sack numbers, nothing too bad. Brandon Sheriff, I'd like that lower, but that's okay. 103 tackles this year from Josie Jewell. We have 16 tackles for loss for David Irving with 10.5 sacks. That's a good season. 13 tackles for loss for Mike Daniels, 10 from Adrian Claiborne. 10.5 sacks leads the team from David Irving. 3 interceptions from Josh Jackson. He's playing well. 2 from Micah Hyde, 1 from Anthony Hitchens, Greg Maben, Desmond King, Glenn Robbins, and Mike Ford. Ford isn't really eligible, but is okay. Defensive touchdowns. We have 1 from Josh Jackson. Safeties, none. Blocked kicks, none. All right, well, the team played actually pretty well this season, honestly. 10th in the NFL in offense. Defensively, 13th. Really not too bad. Matt Ryan, of course, wins MVP. Anybody from the Bears? Do not see anyone. NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Matt Ryan's up there. David Johnson, though, comes in 6th. CJ Beathard comes in 10th. Let's go. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Khalil Mack, who is on the Redskins in this universe here. Nobody from the Bears. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Wes O'Shaughnessy comes in 2nd. Banks Denard comes in 4th. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Glenn Robbins comes in 5th. And that is it from our team, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully O'Shaughnessy got a lot of the skill points. That'd be cool if he randomly just goes off here. He got 3. That's not too bad. We got 2 from Denard, 2 from, George Kittle. I guess O'Shaughnessy played fullback too. What about Fountain? He got 1. Defensively, 3 from Josh Jackson. I'll take it. 3 from David Irving. 2 from some other guys as well. Here we go. Let's see if the team can take down the Falcons. I highly doubt it, but here's a look at the upgrades. The team is now an 80 overall. Really not too bad. These cornerbacks are nice. That's honestly the best part of this defense, I think, or just is the secondary in general. So here we go. Against the Falcons, they're probably almost a 90. We are an 80. They're an 89, like I said. So if we can beat the Falcons and take down the MVP and Matt Ryan, this would be remarkable. This would be a success if we can do this. And we cannot do it. 35-21, 2-possession game there. Got handled pretty well by the Falcons. Let's see, who performed well for our team? They had 414 total yards of offense. I think we had 139 rushing yards. So CJ Beathard, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Nothing spectacular. Matt Ryan was very good, though. Nearly perfect. David Johnson, 13 for 114. Wow, he ran the ball really well. Akram Wadley is our backup. Did not run nearly as well, but David Johnson, geez. So sadly, I could only find 4 players in this entire draft class out of the correct colleges. Cedric Gums is the first guy. Let's go with him. 73 overall. He's actually not that bad. 89 speed, 91 acceleration, 86 agility, 79 man, 77 press. Really not that terrible. So again, I'm just going to sim to the end since the other 3 guys are undrafted, and I will let you know how bad they were. So let's see how poor these players actually were. Probably the highest overall is like a 67. Got a 62, a 61, and a 68, but we drafted an 80 overall. Okay. I thought that was like deep down the draft, but I have a lot of first round draft picks here, as you guys can tell. But okay, so there's this guy out of Northern Iowa, this guy out of Iowa, and then that guy out of Iowa. That guy's name is Ross Chandler. He's probably a huge fan of Friends. I don't think there's any other guys out of Iowa here. Yeah, okay, I don't see anyone. But we have a 74 overall outside linebacker, 75 overall right end, a 79 overall strong safety with 85 zone. Okay, that guy's good. Man, the computer drafted very well. Sadly, none of those guys can play. Here is the team heading into this last season here. They're actually not horrible. It's a 79 overall. Nothing is really different on the offensive side. I don't really think anything's different, honestly. Just some different overalls, I guess. And then defensively, again, is anything even different? I really don't think so. Actually, no, Gums. Yeah, okay, so Gums is starting in the nickel spot, which isn't too bad, I guess. You know, he's not horrible down there. Pretty sure everything else here is the same. It sucks we can't start some of these rookies. Like, this Cave dude down here is pretty good. We also have a decent wide receiver. Well, Gideon we drafted last year. He's not too bad. We also signed Robert Foster, apparently. His running back isn't horrible. He wouldn't start anyway, of course. And then specialist, here is what this looks like. Pretty much the same going throughout all of these years, really. Denard is the slot wide receiver again. Gums is now the slot corner. I'm pretty sure everything else is pretty much unchanged. But we will sim now to the end of the season. Hopefully we make the playoffs again. If not, I hope we can at least have a record above 500. The team only ended up making the playoffs in one season, but let's see. Did we finish above 500? We did not. We were 6-10, 9-7 for the Vikings, 8-8 for the Packers, 7-9 for the Lions. So the team wasn't very good. It's alright though. It wasn't really ever supposed to be that good. It would have been cool if we could have made the playoffs this year though. 1-3 in the preseason. Lost the opening 4 games. Beat the Vikings, lost a couple. Beat the Vikings again actually, and then won the last 4. Alright, well, actually finished this season sort of well. Le'Veon Bell wins MVP. How did CJ Beathard play? 4,242 yards, 22 touchdowns, 12 picks. Not many touchdowns, decent number of interceptions, not horrible I guess, and good number of yards, so it's overall a pretty good season. David Johnson, 1,100 yards pretty much with 8 touchdowns. Banks Denard, over 1,000 yards, nearly 1,100 with 5 touchdowns. Wes O'Shaughnessy was pretty good. George Kittle was good once again. So, you know, the wide receiver production hasn't been that bad this whole time. Offensive line was horrible this season for some reason. I don't know why it was that bad. 108 tackles from Josh Jackson, leads the team. 107 from Anthony Hitchens, 106 from Josie Jewell. 11 tackles for loss for David Irving, who played very well recently. 10 sacks for him, 7.5 for Anthony Hitchens. We have 2 interceptions from Desmond King and Cedric Gums, the rookie. 1 from Anthony Hitchens, Josie Jewell, Christian Kirksey, Glenn Robbins, Frank Harrington, Josh Jackson. Frank Harrington, not eligible, but I'll still mention him. Went to Delaware State there. No defensive touchdowns. 1 safety from Adrian Claiborne, and no blocked kicks. We were 19th in the NFL on offense, probably around there on defense as well. 15th, so a little bit better, I guess. We already know Le'Veon wins MVP. Marcus Mariota comes in 2nd, though. That's cool. Nobody from the Bears. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Todd Gurley. Nobody from the Bears. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jalen Smith. Nobody from the Bears. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Rico Choice. All right. We have Kendall Woodbury in there. I think he's our running back, honestly. Like our 3rd string running back. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Cedric Gums comes in 2nd. That would have been cool. Frank Harrington comes in 8th. Best quarterback, it goes to Jared Goff. CJ Beathard is not in there, nowhere to be found. David Johnson is number 8 in best running back, though. My voice gave out there for a second. Best wide receiver, Jamison Crowder. I feel like that's not too common. Banks Denard makes it number 10. Wow, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is in there too. Okay, best offensive lineman, Zach Martin. Surprising that the Cowboys don't have the top 3. They have 3 of the top 4, though. Nobody from our team. Best defensive lineman, Aaron Donald, of course. David Irving comes in 7th. Best linebacker, Devon Kennard. Anthony Hitchens comes in 6th. Best defensive back, Patrick Peterson. Not too surprising there. Best kicker, Graham Gano, but Cody Parkey's in there. Doesn't really matter too much about him. But so that is going to pretty much conclude this video. I'll just briefly go over the experience points. I don't see a ton for anyone on offense. And then defensively, anyone have a bunch? Josh Jackson played very well. He was about to go up to an 88 overall, which is pretty cool. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.